Hi, welcome back to the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast. Estelle here. I'm here to help you today. I want to, sorry, I don't know where I was going with that intro. Today, I really want to talk to you about making time in your life for the arts, for creativity, for singing, for performing. And I want to talk about that because it's the end of the year and the new year is coming up and you're making goals and you're making plans. And I want to make sure that you are incorporating your creativity into that plan. I really want to encourage you to do that because at the end of the day and at the end of the year, sometimes we go back and we reflect and we kind of it's easy to like get stuck looking at like, oh, did I get this done? Was I productive in this way? Did I da 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 da, right? But oftentimes we don't think about like, was I my most creative self this year? Like, did I make time to be creative, to work on my art, to invest in my art, to grow in my art? But we're artists. Like, you're listening to this, it's because you are an artist and you want to be taking this seriously. And so I want you to really like not to make this like dramatic goal, but just set this intention for yourself. And I want to be right here with you, supporting you in this. Set this intention for yourself that in this new year, and even you don't even have to wait, start today, right? Before you end the year, that you're going to make time in your life. You're going to make space in your life to really, really pursue this gift of yours in the arts with intention. These gifts, because you probably have multiple. Most of you guys, I'm sure, are not just singers. Not that there's anything wrong with only being a singer, right? But a lot of you are songwriters, you're playing guitar, you're playing piano, you are actors, you are dancers, you are musical theater performers like me, and you're doing lots of things when it comes to being an artist. But if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the things that you want to do and then you just end up not doing any of it at all, or you are doing the things that you want to do, but not as much as you want to be taking it more seriously, I want to be that stand for you today and that encouragement for you today to make that time. Like, make the time in your life for singing. It is worthwhile. It is not a waste of time. Make that time in your life to be creative, to be fueling your creative passions and your dreams that you know you have. It is not a waste of time. It is meaningful. And so I just have a few points that I want to share with you. And if you have any questions about this, or like you're just really struggling with making time for this, with making time for the arts as an artist, I really, 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 really want you to comment on Spotify or wherever you're listening to this, if you're able to on YouTube. And if you can't comment because you listen on Apple Podcasts, come and DM me on Instagram. I want to hear from you. Like, I want to connect with you guys before the end of the year. That is my dream. That is my goal. Before the end of the year, I want to connect with one of you guys who's listening to this podcast and tell me, like, what are the questions that you have when it comes to making time for singing and the arts and creativity? Do you struggle with that? Do you struggle with being intentional about your voice practice, about going to dance class, about posting on Instagram your latest song that you've been working on? Like, what are you struggling with when it comes to making time and space to be a singer and to be an artist and to be a creative? Because I want to support you with that, especially in the new year. I want to help you with that. And I know that it is not a waste of time for you to make the time to do the thing that you love to do. It is not a waste of time. Sometimes we tell ourselves that, society tells us that. It is a lie. It is a lie from the enemy, okay? Okay, let me take you to church. It is a lie from the enemy. Do not believe it. It is meaningful for you to sing. It is meaningful and worthwhile for you to make time to grow in your skills as an artist. So, whatever questions you have about it, whatever concerns, whatever things are tugging at your heart that you just can't figure out, I would love for you to share it with me in the comments on YouTube, on Spotify, and or DM me on Instagram, and I would love to chat with you. That's at Creatively by Estelle. But you guys probably already know that you can find me pretty easily online. But yeah, I would love to hear from you. So a few points that I want to share when it comes to helping you make time in your life for singing, for the arts, for creativity, this before the year ends and definitely going into the next year. You have to decide, my friend. Like, you got to decide. You have to be intentional. Like, if you really, really want to become a better singer, a more creative person, a more committed actor, you have to decide that you are going to do it no matter what. Like, there are going to be off days, there are going to be off weeks. There might even be off months in the coming year. Let's be real. But if you have made that decision, you can go back to the decision and be like, no, I decided this. I wrote it down, right? Write it down. Make it plain. The Bible talks about that, writing it down, making it plain, right? Because if we do not make the decision, we are like, when we make the decision to do something, our brain wants to solve the problem. So it's going to help us find ways to do it. But if we haven't decided, then why is our brain going to help us to actually get to that goal that we want to do, that we want to achieve? So make a decision, be really intentional and specific about what you want to do. Like, decide that I want to, for me, one of my decisions, I'll share it with you guys. I'll be a little bit vulnerable. I really want to grow in my acting technique. I've been really focused on my vocal technique the last several years because I was trying to get into my master's for music, and I was trying to, and my primary instrument is voice, so I was really focused on taking a lot of voice lessons, and I was focused on training in vocal technique so I could teach voice, right? And now I'm a voice teacher, and so I've been really focused on the voice, but I am also an actor, and I've been auditioning and I've been acting, but I haven't been getting the roles that I want, and I know that I need to develop my acting technique. So that's one thing that I have decided that I'm going to be doing, and I'm signing up for an acting class, and it's happening. I'm actually going to, by the time this releases, it'll be Thursday that this releases, and that same evening I'll be at an acting class, like an acting workshop. So you guys hold me accountable and ask me how it went. But yeah, so that is the decision that I have made. And that has been helpful to me. Like, and I know what I'm focused on when it comes to growing as a performer. I'm still growing in my vocal technique. I'm taking voice lessons, actually. I'm starting voice lessons again. I'm going to be working, developing as a dancer as well, but I really, really want to focus on my acting technique. So that's one thing. So you have to decide, what are you focused on, and make that decision. Write it down. Related to that, what is your why? Why do you even want to do this? Why do you want to go for this dream? Why is it pressing on your heart so deeply? And if you don't know what that why is, explore it, figure it out, like journal over it, pray over it, meditate over it, go on walks and really think about it. And if you still don't know, that's okay, but come up with something. Like, maybe you just love it. You don't know why, but you just love it. That is your why for now, right? Let that be your why. I just love it. I just want to. That can be your why until you figure out maybe a deeper why of like, oh no, I really want to help people who are struggling with their mental health by making music that really connects to them, right? That could be a why. That could be a deep why. That's a good one. If that's your why, let me know, because that's a really good one. Because that will help you keep going when you want to quit. Is if you remember, why did I start this in the beginning? That's going to help you to keep going. The third thing I want to talk about is start small. Like, start small this month, before the year ends, in the new year, if you don't want to start now, but start small. And then, like, that's going to help you develop the habit of singing every day. Just start with singing one song every single day. Like, that's a great place to start. Or start with, one acting class a week, one dance class a week. Start small, and that's going to help you develop the habit over time. But don't begin with this huge grand plan that's going to stress you out, So really start small. This is how you make time in your life, by just starting with 5 minutes every day, 5 minutes every other day, right? That's you strategically and intentionally making time in your life to be an artist, okay? And then the last thing I want to say is just seek inspiration as often as you can. Be inspired. Listen to my podcast every single week. Subscribe, but actually do, because I'm here for you. I want to inspire you, and it's not just fake inspiration. You can do this, but not actually giving you any support. I really hope this podcast gives you practical support. I do my very best to make sure that it does, but I really hope it does give you practical support, but also keeps you inspired. Because I've also listened to podcasts where it's just the practical tips, and it's kind of it doesn't really give me that that motivation, be yes, I'm gonna do this, But I've also listened to podcasts that are all motivation and inspiration, yes, you're a creative fairy, but I don't actually get the tactical stuff. So I hope that this podcast can be a mix of both. Does that make sense? I want this to be both and. So I do my best to make it that. Let me know how I'm doing, but I really do my best to make it that, because I want you to come to this podcast for inspiration every single week, and to know that even if everyone else doubts you and everyone else thinks that you literally cannot do this as a career, you cannot pursue your dream of doing theater, of being a singer, of being an artist, and everyone else is doubting you and talking down at you about that, I want you to know that I will be here every single week doing the exact opposite. I will be here telling you why you can do the thing that you want to do and how you can do it and how you can actually improve as a singer. Even though other people are saying, oh, you're flat, oh, your voice is this, oh, you don't sound good, I will be here helping you figure out ways to grow as a singer, right? I want to be the one to inspire you every week. And so I really encourage you to seek that inspiration. Listen to my episodes, go back and back and back and listen to a bunch of them, because there is so much inspiration as well as practical tips. But also, like, on Instagram, find creatives that you love to see what they're doing. I also have an Instagram and TikTok where I share a lot of my journey as a creative and as a singer, so you can follow me, but you can also follow lots of other people on YouTube. Like, watch other people, watch shows, go to see shows, go to see, I went to the symphony recently, and that was so inspiring for me to see musicians performing and singers performing as well. You can go to local open mic nights, not to perform, but just to watch other musicians, right? And so these are the ways that we can intentionally seek inspiration. And that's you actually making time for the arts. Even if you're not actually doing the art itself, you're making time to inspire yourself. And that's also really important for you making time for your art. So I hope that that is something that you at least feel like you can do pretty easily, is to seek that inspiration. That doesn't take as much effort, I guess, as like starting small and developing a habit. Maybe you just should start with seeking that inspiration, and that will kind of help you to then develop a habit of going to voice lessons every week or taking an acting class or whatever. So that is the last thing I want to talk about, is just like seeking inspiration as often as you can. Like, be inspired as an artist, like be inspired, and make time to keep yourself inspired so that way you don't give up. Okay. So yeah, let me know if you do find this podcast inspiring. Let me know why. Let me know what you'd like to hear more of, you guys. I'm planning, kind of like thinking about what to talk about more of in the new year. I want to get back into doing more interviews. If you've been here for a while, if you're an OG, you know that I used to do a lot of interviews, and I haven't done as many this year. But if you would like to hear certain people on the show, let me know who you'd like to hear. I've had people ranging from like a Broadway performer who's now my vocal teacher. Actually, she's my vocal coach. She was on the show a while ago. I've had like voice teachers on the show, performers, local musicians. If any of you guys are local musicians who have music coming out and you want to share about that, like, DM me if you want to be on the podcast. I would love to have listeners on the podcast, actually. That would be so fun. But yeah, I would love to know what you are interested in. What are you interested in hearing about? Do you want me to bring on specific guests to teach you about certain things about being an artist, a performer, an actor, singer, dancer? Or do you want to come on the podcast yourself and share some things that you've been working on as a singer, actor, dancer, performer? I would love to have you on, but I would also love to just hear from you guys what you'd like to hear more of. What would keep you inspired? What would be inspirational for you to hear on this podcast coming new year? So again, you can DM me on Instagram at Creatively by Estelle, and I would just genuinely love to hear from you and hear what is helpful to you when it comes to making time in the arts, or maybe what other questions you have about making time for the arts. And if you're not an Instagram girly, like you're not an Instagram person at all, you can also go to my website and like send a message through there, or you can email me. There are so many ways to reach me, so don't be shy. I would love to connect with you. But that is all that I have for you today, my dears. Like, make that time. It's the end of the year. New Year's coming up. Make time for your art. Do it scared. Do it small. Start small. Make that decision. Connect with your why. Start small and seek inspiration, and just do it. Make that time to be the artist and the singer and the performer that I know you were meant to be. Thank you so much for listening. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and to this show. I'm so in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the Performing Arts community on Facebook for support and inspiration as you continue on your journey. If this episode helped or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with someone. It means so, so much. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.